Ao tai tumu tai pari ka waia maha nui ki te paupua te raki hauiha pupu mai ka haua tāwhiri mātia I whakapuria te awa hoko o te whenua Pākihi Waitaha e a tihei mauri ora. A te mihi tuatahi mihi ki nā atua kaha rawa, a ho mai o kaha, ho mai o arawa ki a mātou I tēnei wai nā wā katoa hoki. A ka huri au taka whakaro ki nā tini aitua, a e nā mati, o ia marae, o ia motu, o ia takiwā, haere, haere, haere atura. Haere ki Hawaiki nui, Hawaiki roa, Hawaiki paumama, e nā mate, moi mai rā, moi mai rā, moi mai rā. Apati hono o tātou hono o rātou ki a rātou, apati hono o tātou hono tātou ki a tātou, ta honga ora, ko tai mai nei, tēnā koutou. E nā koro mātua, e nā hoa, o nā rohi, o tēnei takiwā o Waitaha, nei te mihi ki a koutou, ko tai mai nei. Ai ki nā manuhiri hoki, ko tai mai nei ki te kōrero ki a mātou, tēnā koutou, nau mai, hara mai, tauti mai. Kia ora koutou, just standing to open our meeting, acknowledge those that have gone before us, those that helped create this wonderful place, and to all of those that are in the room today, our mayors and councillors, and our visitors that have come to speak to us. So kia ora, welcome to this. What number is it? Do we have a number? Oh, I don't even have a number. So welcome to our Regional Transport Committee on this day, the 21st of August 2025. Declare the meeting open. Definitely have a quorum present, so it's great to see most here. Looks like we've got an apology from Dan, maybe. Maybe Dan's haven't received one, but he may just be running slightly late. He's still at the funeral. Okay, so he's going to maybe be an apology, so thank you, we'll note that. Have we got any conflicts of interest for today? No, all good. And we do have a public forum, like I've mentioned. We've got our team here from Students Against Dangerous Driving. So we've got Mark McCullum, Irwin, who's brought the group Brielle, Lume, Fusiamoli, and Zoe from Rolleston College. Is that correct? So welcome to the table. Come up to the table. You're our first item. And we're going to do this, team, and then we're going to break into our workshop after we get through this part, just so our public forum can present to us, and then I'm sure they won't want to stay to listen to the rest of our stuff. So we'll just get the team set up down there, and basically how a public forum works is you'll have 10 minutes to present to us. If you want to leave some time for questions within that 10 minutes, that's pretty helpful. But we can then ask questions of clarification from our members here. So when you're ready, I'll hand over to you. Where you go.
Kia ora koutou. Thank you very much for having us this afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be here. I'd just like to introduce the Rolleston College SAD group, Kaitiaki o Ara. My name is Mark, and I'm the Delivery and Engagement Team Leader here at Kaitiaki o Ara. And I just wanted to let you know a little bit about what we do with young people. So SAD is a student-led peer-to-peer education program. So what we do is empower young people to have conversations about road safety in their communities. And I'm really excited to have 4 awesome young people here today to speak to you about an issue that they're passionate about. That's what we're all about, is helping young people have those conversations in their communities through being involved in campaigns, running activities and campaigns in their schools and their communities. We act as coaches, as guides, as mentors to empower them to have those conversations. And they're here to have a bit of a kōrero with you this afternoon. So without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Zoe and the team to talk about their chosen issue this afternoon. Thank you.
Kia ora everyone, my name is Zoe. We are the Rolleston College Horueka Haimata Students Against Dangerous Driving Ropu, and we would like to propose a practical driving test centre for restricted and full licences in Waikirikiri, Selwyn. Currently, those of us residing near or in the Selwyn area are only able to do our learner's licence test at the Selwyn Council building in Rolleston. If we would like to pursue higher testing to complete a practical test for our restricted or full licence, the closest testing stations are in Ashburton or Wigram.
Considering the fast growth of Rolleston town and surrounding Selwyn areas, which is expected to increase in the next 10 years, and the large percentage of our population who are youth attending secondary education or near, we believe that it would be very beneficial to acquire a testing station in Selwyn. As of 2023, Selwyn had a population of 78,144, and 6.7% of the population are youth aged 15 to 19 years old, which is the target population for driver license testing. As mentioned, these numbers are expected to grow over the coming years. Comparing these statistics to neighboring districts, it becomes clear that a testing center is needed. We don't only have a higher population overall, but also a higher percentage of youth, as a testing center in Selwyn also has the population to relieve some demand of the 3 testing centers in the Christchurch area.
For their thoughts, and the results were not surprising. An overwhelming 87.9% of survey takers said that a practical driving testing center would increase the likelihood of them progressing in their license journey. 98% of survey takers have started their driver license journey, so a testing center in Waikirikiri Selwyn would not go unused. As you can see, the numbers speak for themselves.
The travel required for Selwyn youth to sit their exam creates many barriers. The expense of petrol adds on to the already expensive process of achieving your license. It also adds stress on the day of your test, and you miss school and work. Especially since learner drivers rely on a fully licensed driver to take them to their test, it can be a very difficult and inconvenient process. There are many advantages to gaining a test center in Rolleston and Selwyn. A new testing center in Selwyn would open up bookings for tests, allowing so many more people to achieve their license much, much faster, as currently it can be difficult to book for your practical test due to incredibly high demands. A new testing center would open up more jobs and eliminate the barriers discussed before.
There are many different skills you need to show proficiency in to pass your restricted license test, and so Rolleston would be the ideal place for a new testing center. The suburbs of Rolleston would be ideal to carry out skills such as parallel parking, and being near a motorway allows for proficiency in lane changing. There are also many opportunities to test skills like gap selection, turning movement, speed choice, etc. Learner testing is also already taking place in Rolleston, meaning it would make sense as a location for the practical tests.
Before we conclude, I would like to briefly mention Vaughan Smart, a Students Against Dangerous Driving alumni, who throughout 2022 and 2023 was advocating for this same problem. He, like us, created a survey and gathered statistics around the population of Selwyn and surrounding areas. In June of 2023, he presented to a general meeting of the Selwyn District Council as part of Public Opportunity. This meant he obtained a letter of support from the Mayor of Selwyn, Sam Broughton. He then submitted his proposal to Waka Kotahi in July 2023. Through our proposal, we hope to continue his fight for Selwyn youth. Gaining a practical driving test centre in Rolleston would greatly benefit the youth of Selwyn, as having a driver's licence allows for so many more opportunities, such as career, extracurriculars, social and tertiary education. In order to support our rangatahi as individuals, we believe it is vital that a practical testing centre be added in Rolleston, tauwhare kakaho. Thank you so much for considering our proposal.
Kia ora, team. Thank you so much for that. Really clear presentation. Love the graphs. I'm definitely a graph person, so it was really good for me. And really clear information that you provided to us. Is there any questions from members to our team here? Yep, Murray.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm Mary Black and I'm the Mayor of the Hiranui District. Your message resonates with me because our district has the same significant travel issues for our young people to get or achieve their full licensing. Have you considered canvassing this topic with other schools that have got a distance to travel to achieve the result that you're seeking? It'd be interesting to get some stats around that across Canterbury. Thank you.
We haven't looked into that yet, but I think it would be a great idea to get the thoughts of other people in Selwyn, because obviously Selwyn is more than just Rolleston, so we'd love to get the thoughts of other Selwyn youth in other areas. Yeah.
You want it, Murray? Sam?
Yeah, thank you for coming in and continuing the conversation to advocate for our young people. I'm interested, have you already had some conversations with Kotahi and ZTA around what might be possible, or is this like the first step for you?
Currently, this is a first step for us in the process, yeah.
I heard that you had a previous member had gone to Whakakapi in the past, though, so that's been done in the past, but just was there a response to that at that time?
Not that I'm aware. I think it got as far as Vaughan's presentation, and then, it was well received, but I don't think there was any further action from that.
Thank you. Yeah, Grant?
I haven't got a question, but I'm pretty sure I recall Mayor Rowley raising that same issue at a meeting in Ashburton, and I followed up on behalf of the committee to NZTA, and I had a feeling that the government were going to change and increase the numbers of testing centres and people being trained to test, but I don't know where that's at.
Ian, have you got any thoughts? Sorry to put you on the spot, but...
No, it's all good. Look, from a Whakakapi point of view, well done in your presentation, and we're certainly quite keen to take that back into our testing licensing team. There is a bit of a process underway to look at where we've got gaps in the system, and we've been looking initially at the West Coast, but we've got Canterbury and Otago to follow. So from a timing perspective, it's good timing to receive this. So thank you.
Kia ora, Ian. And so Ian's from Whakakapi, so just if you probably can see his label there, but so that's really good. Thanks so much, Ian. And I think that's something we can do in terms of our responses to your public forum. Anyone else got a question? Yep, Mayor Phil.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That's really good. Ian, it's been about 300 years since I got my driver's licence. You can do your theory stuff online, I assume now, so you can get all that bit done. So when you go for your restricted, which I never had to do, you have to come all the way into town to do that, okay? And then you do your year or two or whatever, and then you go again. Yeah, sorry?
Second part's been taken
away. Oh, the second part's been taken away, okay. So you just need somewhere, even if it was only 2 days a week, out at Selwyn or Raleigh, to be able to have someone to test you for at least your restricted, to just save so much grief. Is that, am I got that right?
Yeah, well, even just 2 days a week would be amazing, but there's so many youth in Selwyn, so we think if it could be a full-time operation, that would be even better. But anywhere's a start. Yeah.
Oh, so there's enough demand for it to be all the time. You feel there's so many of you.
Yeah, I believe so. There's lots of secondary schools in Selwyn with quite a big student body, so I think there would be enough demand for, yeah.
If I could just add to what Zoe said as well, I think part of the demand is that because there is so many students, so young people in Selwyn coming through to Christchurch City to get their licences, it's putting a lot of pressure on that system as well. And often getting times to book in can be really difficult for those people coming from out of town. And as they said in their presentation, getting a lift in and spending that time and money as well has been quite difficult. So we're not far away, but it can make the drive can make a bit of a difference in trying to book in when everybody else in Christchurch is already trying to book in as well. Yeah.
If I could just, if I could just speak on that matter. Personally, one of the reasons I am in this group is because I think it's a subject that really matters, especially all throughout New Zealand, and specifically on this matter, why I personally am here speaking today is because I haven't gotten my learners yet. I haven't taken any steps toward that. I'm actively trying to take the online tests and do as much theory work as I can, but coming from a household where my mum and my dad work full-time jobs and I'm unable to get my own transport all the way into Christchurch, it is an extremely hard process with the high demand already in Christchurch, with all the bookings there. It is so hard to find a moment or a time where I could be fit in that booking that would also fit the schedules of my parents. And the problem with that is that it's not only me. Like, I've heard from so many of my peers, and it's an issue that I feel directly impacts our well-being, because being able to drive is essential. It is essential that we learn these skills as young as we can when we are mature enough, because if we don't, if more and more kids keep on putting this off, it's just going to cause complications and road complications down the line. And it's just, I think that, yeah, it's in such a high demand that I feel like we definitely, having a testing center in Salwood would make a great impact, not just for the students of Hurawaka Haimata, but also for all across Salmon. Thank you.
Tēnā koe, well said. You got another question, Phil? Yeah.
Sorry, just to get into the weeds a little bit. If you've done your theory and you've passed all that, it's just a matter of turning up and going for a drive for roughly how long does that take? If the car was out where you are, that you didn't have to come down, how long's the sitting in the car and to get your restricted? How long does that take?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe the restricted test is kind of around the hour mark, and then the full license is a bit shorter. Yeah.
Hey, thanks again. Right, Craig, where you go?
I will speak on this. I'm from Kaikoura, so we're in the middle of nowhere. It costs our kids $8, or at the top end of the best part. How's that sound? Sorry, Phil. It costs our kids $850 to sit or go and test, because they've either got to go to Blenheim or down here, which loads up your lot. They 90-something% get failed every time. Their first time, it seems to be a set thing that they do, things for like not, or pausing too long at the intersection or the roundabout, rather than saying this is what you've done and continuing. So they're back there, there's $1,700 just like that. Counting the parents not being at work twice. That it is, I get the price thing, it is a heavy burden on families that are struggling just to try and get the kids into work. So yeah, we've been chasing this for a long time ourselves, like years.
Kia ora, Craig, and I think Phil might have been alluding to the idea of like a mobile service where the testers come to you, which I think is a really good idea, maybe something we could also put into our response and work with Waka Kotahi on those ideas. Phil?
So exactly, you read them in mind. I'm a trustee of Nohoe Farm National Marae. They have 8 cars that they go around and give people, which I should now know, the restricted licence. I, in my mind, I'll go and have a yarn to them. And if they came out for at least 1 or 2 days a week and just plonked themselves at your school, and it was all lined up just to take people around to, otherwise might as well take the mountain to Mohammed rather than the other way around. You see what I mean? So I'll go and talk to them and see if there's an opportunity to do that.
Kia ora, Phil. Thank you. Hey, Karen. Everyone's into it today. It's good.
Hello. Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm Karen Morgan and I'm the Acting Mayor for the Mackenzie District. So much like Craig, our youth have quite some way to travel. It's either Cromwell, Oamaru or Timaru to get their licence, so that's a 2-hour each way type of trip. So it is a challenge, and it's a challenge particularly for our youth for employment because of the distances we have to be. So I totally get why you were doing that and fully in support. The only thing I thought might add to your presentation, which I thought was very good, is that if you could validate some numbers around those who have come from Selwyn and got their licences in Christchurch, then you can put a size of the scope of the problem for your own district and also what you're saving for the district that they are sitting their licence in. So that'll help validate the reasons for chasing after what you're after. Okay?
Got to leave Kotahi something to do, Karen. But, no, just joking. No, hey, thanks again for your presentation. As you can see, you've sparked quite a lot of conversation and some ideas as well. So I really like the idea of a mobile testing thing, and so we can definitely look at that when we give you a response. So we've got a couple of resolutions here to acknowledge your public forum presentation to us today. So one, that we receive your presentation, and two, that we'll provide a reply to you, and hopefully we can outline some of the things and some of the pathways that we've discussed today. So do I have a mover for the resolution? Yeah, Murray. Oh, everyone's in today. Oh, I'll go with Craig. So seconded by Craig Mackle. Yep. Oh, true, because there's another Craig over there. Yeah. The three Craigs. Craig Mackle. Kai Kouta, yeah. Does anyone want to speak to this? If not, no. Murray Black moved it. Yeah. All good. Still got to get it right, eh? Ka pai. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? That's carried. So kia ora. Thanks, guys. Good luck with your the work you're doing, and well done for bringing the challenge to us here today. And everyone's heard it, so we'll try our best. So thank you. Kia ora. Okay, we'll just finish this bit off down to our minutes, and then we're going to have a break and do our workshop. So the next bit on the agenda was extraordinary and urgent business. I don't think there's any. So we'll move to notices of motion, and there's none of them either. So we'll just adjourn. We're going to reconvene this meeting later, and we're going to go into a workshop session now. So just have a couple of minutes while we get that sorted. So just a reminder, we're up to 7.1. That's our unconfirmed minutes from 29th of May. People had a look at them. Any questions or comments on the minutes? If not, we'll put the resolution up, and that's to confirm our minutes from the 29th of May. Do I have a second? Neil, thank you. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? That's carried. That's Sam and Neil. 8. This is the resolution status report. Is that you, Jesse? Away you go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we've got two resolutions outstanding on the paper here. The first one around the joint advocacy approach to the Minister. We've drafted a letter. The letter is about to be sent through to the Chair to review, and we'll circulate that once that's been finalised, reflecting the discussion of the items. We'll be finalising that in the next few days, hopefully. In terms of the second resolution, one of the items on number 6 there is on the agenda today. That's the public transport improvement. And you just received some information around that. And number 4, our work to understand the transport expectations of Papatipurunanga outside the Greater Christchurch area and reporting back. So some of the work, as Claire mentioned before, we're doing through the regional and plan development. So we'll bring that through to the committee in the next training as part of that work. So yeah, happy to take any questions.
Any questions, people? No, all good. Yeah, so we just, I think we've had quite a lot for Minister Bishop to deal with lately. So, and of course we've got NTS stuff that has been happening as well. So we've had a letter to him on that. So this will be good timing. We'll get that off shortly. So we've got our resolution there that we note the resolutions. Do I have a mover? Sam and Murray, all good. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? That's carried. Thank you. We'll go to 8.2, public transport improvements, and Len, kia ora. I'll let you introduce this paper.
Kia ora. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think it's probably easy if we take the report actually as read, but before we get to that, on the tables for you to look at. Obviously, starting from the back, which is probably the most important part for a lot of you, is just a map there to outline what the community vehicles are around the Canterbury area. There's 17 of them. These are obviously local volunteered organisations, and it's a real sort of local flavour to these things. It's not just ECAN that support these. ECAN provides some funding, grant funding for them, and also a little bit of resource in terms of a coordinator to help them through their any issues they have. But it's also at territory authority level. I know, for example, just recently the Waimakariri district gave some land to the North Canterbury Vehicle Trust so that they could build a nice facility, so they can actually a big garaging facility, so they can actually store their vehicles in that. So that was, it's not just an ECAN thing. This is very much all community sort of approach. And I just thought while we're here, I'd give you an opportunity from a Metro point of view. Obviously, Greater Christchurch Metro is probably a lot of our work, and I've provided you with our Getting Started thing that has information there about things like fares that we've alluded to in the paper itself. Fares recently went up for in Greater Christchurch to $3. Obviously, if your fare increase is going up, if you're increasing your fares, you're improving your private revenue ratio as a result of that. You should, and part of the improvement process that we've done over the last 12 months, probably the one big thing for Greater Christchurch has been improving the 7 route and making it what we call turn up and go, which is a 10-minute frequency. That's all about convenience for our customers. We've had 10-minute frequency services on both the Orbiter, which started way back in 2003 at a 10-minute frequency, and we increased frequency on the number 3 route, which is the Sumner to Airport route, in 2019 to 10-minute frequency. The Queen's Park Hallsville route number 7, this year we just increased that to 10-minute frequency. What that means is that effectively during the day you can walk out during the weekday and forget about having one of these things, a timetable. All you have to do is go, I know a bus is going to turn up every 10 minutes. So, and it also accompanies what council are doing in terms of providing bus lanes on Hallsville Road and Lincoln Road, and NZTA are doing it on the state highway part of. So there's a whole group of things happening there that will make running that 7 route and keeping it to 10-minute frequency and improving the convenience for a large chunk of people along that route and making it actually more usable. Because the one thing that makes public transport really tick in Christchurch and all around the world is that it's usable, that you can basically walk out, it's convenient, it's at your doorstep, and if you miss one, there's another one coming along, maximum 10 minutes later. So, and that's what makes people...
Just jump on your phone, and you forget about it anyway. So.
Yeah.
That's true, eh?
Are there any questions on any of the...
I just wanted to give some first-hand sort of evidence of that. Horsewall's where I live, so this goes to my house, which is pretty cool. Not to my house, actually. I have to get picked up from the supermarket, but I was on there and I was sitting next to a nice lady, and I was saying, you catch the bus a lot? You said, yeah, every day. And I said, have you noticed the new uplift? And she said, yes, I do, because the buses used to be really full, and she used to, people used to get left behind quite a bit. and that wasn't great either for people that made it on. They felt bad for people that got missed, and occasionally, she got missed. So, but she said that hasn't happened since it's been the 10-minute frequency. And in terms of the roadworks and stuff, even though it takes a bit longer at the moment, it actually is not really a problem once you're on there, because you actually don't care because you're not having to deal with the traffic. You're just on the bus on your phone or talking to someone. So that's not a big deal at the moment. The fact that you've got more buses and picking people up is the main important thing, and not leaving people behind. So yeah, it's really positive for our communities when it does go to that 10-minute frequency. So just wanted to acknowledge the great work there, and Whakakapi obviously for supporting that to go through. And I know we're working on Route 1 and 5 as well. So if you don't know how it works in Christchurch, when you've got a single number, they're our key routes, the real high frequency routes, and the most used routes. So we're trying to get all of them over time to that 10-minute frequency. And I just note there in the resolutions, I made the staff actually put each highlight in the resolution so that we could actually note them. So you'll see the new electric vehicles. We've got a new ferry over in Whakatau, Littleton Harbour. Obviously Route 7 that Len has noted. We had a pretty successful cruise ship season with not too many hiccups and actually some really good outcomes. The uplift in the patronage, which is awesome to see, and that just keeps improving. My Way was made permanent in the Timaru, so go Timaru. And of course, we set our new private revenue targets with a bit of negotiation with the minister and government. And of course, we adopted the regional public transport plan recently. So just really a big acknowledgement to the team that's been behind that, and we've worked really hard here at council to make sure that public transport is a really happening thing. And I think these highlights really speak for that, so well done. Anyone else got a question or comment they'd like to make? Yep. Roger.
Thanks. So I just want to, again, thank the team at ECAN for the My Way service and the work you've done there to make it as permanent. It's fantastic, and it just feels like it's been there forever, and it's really delivering for our community. So it's a really cool model, and talking with Councillor Scott, recently, Farebox recovery is looking really good, which is fantastic. I did a double take when I saw the double-decker bus in Timaru the other day, actually. I thought it was it's quite exciting. Took the rest of the day off. No, I didn't. But I'm interested in a question. What's the sort of cost benefit on the electrification of the buses, the likes of the My Way, versus the sort of combustion? Does it work out over time?
Well, there's a range of obviously a range of outcomes that are supported by. It's expensive to upgrade from diesel to electric, but electric's the way the world and the industry is going. So it's gradually becoming cheaper and cheaper and better. So that's the signal. And even when we've gone out to tender in the past, we've had good tenders from our operators, the people tendering, saying, look, we'll put on more electric buses to actually, because they see the benefit of it as well. So.
Yes, so you see industry driving it that way as well. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this is good. Correct me if I'm wrong, we aren't, after 27, you're not allowed to have a bus, you're not allowed to buy a new one unless it's electric. Is that an ECAN thing?
It's a national thing, I think.
So you're governed by what we're told. Okay, yeah.
That's exactly right at the moment. It's a national requirement.
So daft thing
is it now, 2025? From now on, okay.
Because the daft thing is that GBV are making actually diesel buses and sending them to Australia at the moment. So they haven't got the memo yet, have they? No. Not GBV, I mean Australia.
So I did have Sam, but I'll come back. There you go,
I just want to make a comment for the more rural aspect and the benefit of the community vehicle trusts in a rural area is absolutely significant, and it just makes a meaningful difference, and our district actually wouldn't function without having, I think we've got about 4 or 5 trusts now in the Ranui, but reliance on volunteers. But when I talk to the volunteers, they get as much as what the person being driven to the hospital. So it's a really good relationship thing as much as it is a service that is being provided, and I think it's a game changer. So, we just need to make sure it is, future, into the future as well.
Thank you. And I just acknowledge that in our annual plan, we had quite a bit of discussion about not only Selwyn PT, but the Community Vehicle Trust space. So we corrected a bit of a lag in terms of inflation-adjusted funding. I think that's what we did. So we brought them more up to speed. And I think we made the commitment to make sure that happens into the future for the Community Vehicle Trust. So that was a big call. The council made it, as well as the work we did around Selwyn Transport in terms of uplifting. I think this one, we're doing an uplift there, and also the Rolleston services. And late last week, some interesting news. That's all in the public now, isn't it, guys? But I don't know if Sam, you were going to mention that. Yeah, wait, no, you go.
I just think that there's been a change to think about how partnership with private bus operators works, and how ECAN how that might function together on a trial basis with Bentley through Rolleston at the moment. And to me, it's awesome that not only is an area that needs the services getting provided, but there's a mechanism, and it's ECAN's willingness to look at a new mechanism that might have a lot of different applications across Canterbury. And so let's look at how this trial might actually benefit lots more of us as well. So yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that and say thank you to the Regional Council for looking at that differently. I mentioned the Vehicle Trust, which I think is so important for us. But I had a question around, in the report it mentions the cruise season next time, and there's kind of a lot of reporting around the less cruise ships coming to New Zealand next season. And I was just interested in how that informs your planning for the upcoming summer.
The cruise, I guess, problem, for want of a better thing, was one of capacity that we had on our Littleton services in particular. We've solved that by putting more resource into it, and basically, because you imagine, a cruise ship pulls up, it's like a suburb pulling up to another suburb and dumping all its people on, wanting to get them all into town for 2 or 3 days. And then when it goes away, you've got the same sort of level of service, and people who were riding on those buses were being left behind. So we've come to an arrangement of putting more resource in and effectively managing that. So, I mean, last year, the first year, when we didn't quite have the settings right, there were complaints and issues. Last year we had, I think the complaints were down to virtually nothing. So that tends to suggest that the locals are still getting to town. The ones that use it all year are still getting to town, and the ones that just pop in for a day or two because they've landed in Littleton Port, they were happy as well. So it worked quite well.
We've basically got a capacity sort of a contingency budget, and we've got ways of adding to the fleet, and then we also have people on the street selling all-day passes and stuff. So it's not just buses; it's people on the street, sort of intercepting, so they don't go straight and just fill up the bus stops. So there's ways to help that because it makes it more efficient. But in terms of communication, I think we look at the schedules, we plan for the season, and the main issue becomes if the private shuttles that are put on by the cruise ships, if they're too high in price, then what happens is everyone goes, well, I'm not paying $30, I'll just pay $3. And then that can send a whole lot more people to the public transport service. So that's just something that we've got to keep an eye on by keep working with the cruise ship companies. Yeah. Phil, did you ever?
I must say that initiative to bring people straight into the city is very good as far as I'm concerned, because they're generally in the city for at least 2.5 hours longer, at least more, and there's more chance for our retailers to get money out of their pocket. They're on the tram. That you certainly notice a difference in town when the cruise ship is in. It's absolutely good. But Nigel, you're getting 7,000 more people next year into your port because they're not going to Akaroa? Yep. Do we know why they're not going to Akaroa? ECAN made it a wee bit difficult for them to bring the boats into the harbour. They wanted them further out to the heads, which the boat company said, we're not running our tenders into the into the wharf because it's too far, and it was destroying the bottom, so-called destroying the bottom of the harbour. So that's why they said we'll go to Timaru. So welcome. So that is disappointing in my view, but anyway, it is what it is.
Oh, good.
That's right.
Karen.
I just wanted to reiterate Murray's point around the community vehicles, because for Twizel in particular and in Fairlie too, we've got ageing populations and we're quite stranded. If we didn't have community vehicle trusts working, then a lot of people just wouldn't be able to move. And we've got also that not so much isolated families, but seniors who, their families have moved away and they might come back, but they're not there to provide full support. So that just helps reiterate that they've got something that they can call upon. And a classic example I can give you is we have a gentleman who just celebrated his 102nd birthday in the weekend. So Fred Strawn, a rowing icon, and he wanted to get to the airport, and he was able to organise the vehicle to get him to the airport so he could go and surprise his brother in Australia. So, so go Fred, but he wouldn't have been able to do that. But he would have been able to get somebody in the community to take him. But the fact was that, one of the volunteers knows him and was able to organise the vehicle and take him. So, so that's a pretty cool thing to be able to do.
Just going back to the Bentley thing that Sam raised, so that, if you don't know, that's a private operator that we've been able to work with, and we've actually ended up being able to quadruple the services in Rolleston by working with our current public transport schedule and them doing extra buses in between. And also we've extended the route actually into new areas of Rolleston, which is great as well on a 6-month trial basis. So it's really cool. It's almost like a new class of service, like called complementary services that, in a way, just a nickname, that you can now look at. So that's pretty cool. And I really do acknowledge the team for working with Bentley's to bring that to fruition. So hopefully the trial goes really well. And I just wanted to sort of put something out there about if we were, in terms of this public transport improvement stuff that we've pulled together, what would be really cool for this committee is if we could have like the improvements that each district has made in terms of transport infrastructure. So we could complete an amazing list for Canterbury to show what we've done in the last year. So that's a bit of a plea from me to everybody, maybe to go back to their teams and see if we can pull together a similar list of, maybe your top 5 or 10 things that's happened in your district. So then we could celebrate that. So if I could ask mayors to follow up on that, that'd be great. All good? Yep, Grant.
I just thank Len for putting the maps together. I think it is really good having that so we can actually see how it relates to the report. And I did write down, I wondered, a photo opportunity for the double-decker buses in Timaru, and if there hasn't been one yet, I think we need to sort of highlight.
Sorry, there is one on our ECAN webpage of the school bus in Timaru too. So yeah, perhaps we can get the mayor on it.
Neil,
just if your top 5 these perhaps a memo came out to us, email that will jog our memories.
Cool. Yep. Sweet. No, we'll get that done as an action from the meeting to send an email to everybody to remind them, and it'll be great to land that at the next meeting or something. All good. So we've got some resolutions here in front of us. They're quite long because it's got the list of all those key highlights in there, but I think it's pretty cool to show them there. Do I have a mover for these? Sam, seconded. Craig Rowley, thank you. Any more discussion needed? All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? That's carried. Thank you. And if you just make a note around that action to get the other transport infrastructure improvements email sent out. Ka pai. Let's go to 8.3. We just got this Ian's going to give us the Waka Kotahi update, but we'll just get the technology set up quickly. Unless you want to do it without that, up to you, Ian.
Oh, look, I wondered, I know I've got to apologise that we were too late for the main pack, but I assume everybody's got it. Yep. And can we just take it as read?
Yeah, happy to.
And I might, for brevity, pose 3 questions to the Transport Committee that might help us in terms of what we're producing. Quite happy to take questions around topic in the pack, either here or after the meeting. But the three questions I've got is, obviously there's a requirement to move to NZGTTM, and there are a number of forums and resources to help councils with that. It's just to see whether there's anything else that we could be doing that would be useful to councils, and you might want to go back to your officers and just check in on that.
What is that again? Sorry.
Oh, it's the New Zealand Guide to Temporary Traffic Management. So there's a requirement that we're moving to a risk-based approach, and we've attached that to funding in terms of the NLTP. The second question is, we've shown some quarterly trackers we can now do at the end of the report. So we're able to track either Canterbury as a whole region, or we could track the Greater Christchurch Partnership, or we can track individual councils, and it's just showing how you're spending against your allocation. So it's to check with the committee whether that's useful and what format we might provide that to the committee in if it is useful. So it's just a bit of an open question to you. Is it something you want us to continue to provide quarterly, or?
Sounds like the answer is yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And the last question I've got is that we're trying to do a bit of a combination in terms of the report that Whakakapi provide the committee, which is a mixture of kind of national things that are happening that you might be interested in, and then a bit of a dive into what we've got going on a more regional basis. The question is that useful for you? Is the level of information that we're providing in the pack useful? Or would you prefer us to do deeper dives on certain things? So again, it's just an open question to the committee.
Cool. Any feedback on that, people? I mean, I think we're definitely probably going to be real interested in the regional stuff so that we understand what's happening across the region. But you need to know what's happening at a national level if there's any signals that are coming out. Obviously, we're interested in like funding and stuff. But yeah, I think it's good to do it. But I'd probably maybe even do the regional stuff first. That's probably my perspective. But I don't know. Any other feedback? No? Carry on. Have you got anything else?
No. Like if there were no other questions, I was just going to ask if it would be received. Cool. But quite happy to take any other questions about it if the committee's got them.
Sweet. Is there any questions for Ian on the presentation that was sent through? Yep, Grant?
No question, but I thought it was really good. It covers a whole lot of things, and I found looking at the end chart of where things and spending had, I thought it was an easy way to interpret what's been spent, what's in process, and then in terms of the proportion of the total funding for whatever. I thought it was good.
Yeah, the graphs are really, really good. I like graphs though. So. Any other feedback, team? Is there anything to update on some of the big projects in Canterbury that, Neil, did you want to update on us on bridges or anything?
Bridges progressing. He probably knows more about it than I do. I think you may have an approved contractor now, but it's top secret, but most people know about it, I think. But you may want to talk about it. Making really good progress, speeding along nicely and quickly with the bridge. So, good. If Ian might want to say who the contractor is or not.
Oh, I can't say it at this time, but yeah, you're right. It's progressing well. So, and thank you for your work with us on that. We really appreciate it.
So it's going to be a design build with a early contractor engagement. I think it's what you call it. Yeah, which seems like a good process.
Cool. And Brougham Street's going good at the moment, Phil?
Yes, it is. It's mainly the just the overbridge at this stage. There's a lot more. There's a lot more coming. I've written to you guys and the minister about the 3-laney bit that I'm hanging my hat on. So we'll see what comes out of that. But I'm more than happy with progress. And Pages Road Bridge, we got the nod on the money for that, so that's much appreciated. On Horsell Road, when is that due to be finished? Doesn't matter, it's happening, and I know it's a lot of work.
Today's October 26th in the papers.
Oh, sorry, I hadn't read that. Yeah. So nearly a year to go. And I thought it wouldn't be that long. Because the far end, the Horsell end, is actually looking pretty good, close. Yeah. Well, you drive down every day on the bus.
I do.
Yeah, no, it's looking good.
It's coming along, Like you see progress every day. So it's but I think for people in the community when they hear October, it makes them go, oh really? But it's not too bad.
What doesn't help our cause from the city side of thing is we're flat out digging up Sparks Road to put these great big 66 kV cables in. It's sort of the only two ways in from that side. Not good. Never mind.
But people have adapted to it, I mean, you just know that's going to be a bit slower at the moment. So people are adapting. All good. And Rolleston's got some HAP stuff happening too, eh?
Yeah, some land purchase and different things.
Cool. Ka pai. So should we put the resolution to receive the update from Waka Kotahi? Do I move it? Phil, thank you. Seconded. Nigel. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any against? That's carried. Thank you. We're going to go to 8.4, and this is our South Island Regional Transport Committee Chairs meeting that we had in July. It was a really good meeting. It's the first one I managed to get to in person, and the last one. But it was really a good meeting, and it's a valuable forum that we've got. So Tiara, I'll hand over to you. A lot of good things, as you can see in the notes.
I might just do a classic Len and take it as read. Yes, that was our last meeting for this kind of training and for the South Island Regional Transport Chairs Committee. We managed to get 2 final reports across the line, which was fantastic. So we have our South Island story, which is the advocacy piece, and the South Island vulnerability study as well, which was fantastic. And then staff will be progressing phase 2 of the South Island freight study in the interim, and then we'll take back the next phase of that to the new committee in 2026. We had Nick Leggett from Infrastructure New Zealand come online to talk to the committee, which was really great, as Nick has previously been the Mayor of Porirua City Council as well, so he kind of understood the challenges and the funding and the barriers that we're facing down here in the south. The next meetings dates, next 2026 dates are still to be confirmed. We will kind of confirm that as the elections progress and in November. But yeah, happy to take any questions, and hopefully you should all have copies of the South Island story and the South Island vulnerability study.
So just to acknowledge, like, it is really useful because it's pretty much telling the same story that Canterbury's got. It's just replicated all over the island around the sort of, we're far away from where it all happens. We haven't got as many people, but we've got a big geography and lots of network, and we just need to get our fair share of funding. So these reports really lay that out, and I think that's really important for us as we go forward for this committee to keep telling that story. We know the 5%, 13% sort of issue that we've raised, and so we just need to keep pushing for that money to come to Canterbury and to the South Island as well. So yeah, thanks for all the work that's gone into this. I know that Canterbury does pull a lot of weight in the South Island Transport Committee with our staff. So yeah, just acknowledging all that work that's gone on to produce these and help tell a story. So if you haven't read it or got it, make sure you do. And thank you, Tiara. Any other comments or questions people have? Yep, Neil.
Page 36 under Kiwi Rail update, there's a bullet point there that says, considering major network improvement connecting the Midland 9 to the South Line. Whereabouts is that?
Oh, good question. Does anyone know? Grant, can you remember?
I'm sure it'd be a good connection, but where? Is it Rolleston?
Yeah, so that's the connection in Rolleston. There's talk about connecting a curve that would have at some point in time in the past it has been there, and you can see if you look on Google Maps where a curve used to go south as well as what currently comes north. Kiwi Rail's considering that, along with ways of bringing the trains just slightly north and moving the engine to drag them south. There's a range of things that they're currently looking at doing.
That's what we've been talking about for some time, connecting Ashburton and Timaru with the inland port. Yeah, so connecting it all together, which is a really good thing, and we've been wanting it, and great it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, it was great to have Kiwi Rail at the meeting, actually, when we were there for the South Island meeting, because they come along to it. And, we heard a lot about, the problems with the rail network, because it was basically for a long time sort of managed to decline. So that's why there's a big issue. And when we were meeting with Minister Bishop at the local government conference, he sort of got a bit upset about rail, because he knows the dollars that it costs to get it up to standard. But you've got to start somewhere. it is going to be important. We talked about it in our group before when we talked about the 30-year vision. Do you get to a point with your population here in Canterbury where rail just becomes logical, either for commuter or for freight and or freight? So I just think it's something we've got to keep working on, even though, there's a lot of cost in the network to get it up to speed. But I think we just have to have it at some point in the future. Yeah, Grant?
Yeah, I thought the presentation to the chairs was really good from Kiwi Rail, because it gave it highlighted their proposed expenditure, what they needed to do. So it's not as if it's sort of on a back burner. It was full thinking, and pretty good in terms of connections. So,
and the Kiwi Rail presentation is in our papers as well. It's in the supplementary agenda items there.
Yeah. So, what page is that on? That's in that big. That's in that big one there.
Yeah. So you can see that there if you want to have a look.
Yeah,
it was a really good
supplementary
presentation.
stuff. Yeah.
Kapai, should we put the recommendations up if everyone's happy? So we've got 3 resolutions there. Thanks, Tiara. Do I have a mover for them? Grant, and seconded by Neil. Thank you. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? That's carried. Thank you. And you'll see that there's letters to be sent to Bishop and Minister Bishop and Minister Meager about the work we've been doing at South Island there. That's already happened. Cool. Good work. Okay, we're going to number 8.5, report from the chair. I'll do the same, take it as read. Any questions from our members on this? If not, happy to put the resolutions up there. Do I have a mover? Mayor Phil, you got a question?
I was just going to actually say it's very good to see that the MRT stuff's been on the national. That's a good step. So it puts us in. Yeah. And when they came here and said for the bang for their dollar, because we're flat, makes all the difference. So it's very good to see that on there. But I'm happy to move it.
Cool, thank you. Could I have a seconder? Sam, thank you. Any more discussion required? If not, all those in favour, please say aye. Any against? That's carried. And then we've got to go into public excluded. Just quickly, can I have a mover and seconder for that? Grant and Murray. Thank you. So Councillor Edge and Mayor Black. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? That's carried. And we'll just do it. Oh, we've got to turn that back on. He's just done that. Look at that. He's multi-talented. So our next meeting is, we don't have a date, but it'll be in the new term sometime. And good luck with that, people. It's been really awesome to chair this for the last year. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for the support, and I really look forward to seeing what we do in terms of getting our fair share of funding here in Waitaha going forward. So look forward to that work of the new transport plans, and let's go get it. Be bold. Kia ora koutou, and I'll just do karakia to
Craig, just for you to just acknowledge you as the chair and say thank you for the leadership of the group and for the representation on the South Island work, and for the way that you've helped us be involved in the things. So just acknowledge your leadership. Thank you.
Kia ora, Sam. Tēnā koe. Tēnā koutou. Ai, he karakia whakamutunga o tātou nei hui. Kia tau, nā manakitanga o nā mea karo ki runga ki tēnā o tātou, kua mahia te hua mā kihiki, kia toi te reo, kia toi te mana, kia toi te aroha, tūturu whakamaua, kia tīna, haumi e hui e tae ki e kia ora koutou. Thank you.